What is going on? Okay. I was trying to do too many things at once. Hi, you guys. Welcome. Welcome to Sacred Sunday, episode 3. Today, as you can see, we are working with the dragons. Dragon. We're working with the dragon energy, and I am not sure exactly what we're going to do today. But I do know that we are going to work with this deck, and I know that the dragons are here. Also, if you haven't seen it, one of our tribe members, Zoe, sent a magical package, and I did a really fun, I forgot to put the link in there, but I'll put it in after this uploads. Or you could just find it. If you just go on the channel, it says gift box extravaganza. Oh, and I looked down, it was 117. 17 is like her number, so that's so interesting. Yay! So thank you, Zoe. She gave us a bunch of really cool 2 new tarot decks. Go check out the episode. It's really fun. I love doing the unveilings, the unboxings, so to speak. But though she gave us so much stuff, there are 2 things that really wanted to come into the reading today. It's interesting because I feel like I remember her saying something like she wasn't going to get the package here till the 28th or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I feel like it was like later. And it's interesting because she sent me a message, I think Friday, and she was just like, oh, hey, the box is, going to be there on Saturday or something. And I was like, oh, cool. So anyway, we had so much fun unveiling it. But this was one of the stones. Let me get in here. This beautiful agate. Oh gosh, when I looked down, it was 17 again, 217. It was 117, then 217. And look at that. I didn't even realize it till now. Spirit wanted it to come in. Look at how similar it is to the box. And a lot of us light workers, we use our pendulum. So, Zoe's like, I'll, go by with like whatever spirit tells me to send you. So it's so interesting. So this wanted to be in here. Oh my gosh, it looks like it has a little heart on there. But now I don't want to say a favorite because, crystals and stones, whatever. It's like, they're like, our friends, our family. Sometimes they feel like our children. I do have some crystals that have been with me for years, and I have some crystals that like have come and gone. But this titanium quartz, oh my gosh, it is so magical. It is so mystical. It is so beautiful. I fell in love. I've wanted one of these titanium aura quartzes. I've wanted one of these for so long. And every time I've had the money, the means, find a magical one. Oh, there's so many hearts in here. Do you guys see them? Every time I'd hear no, no, no. And you know what? This was worth waiting for. I even asked Spirit, because this week is Alder's birthday, my partner. And I even asked Spirit, I was like, am I supposed to give any of this to him? Because, I'm more than happy to share the wealth of the awesomeness. And they were like, no, these are for you. And I guess essentially the tribe right now. I knocked the little mushroom over. So that's interesting. And, oh, okay. So they wanted me to read you the titanium quartz. Okay, I'm going to put this over here. They want me to show you and then read. Okay, so maybe there's some messages in here for you guys. Oh, do you see that heart? There's so many hearts in here. Titanium aura quartz is the stone of creative powers. It supports your career and gives determination to succeed with your plans. It increases your zest and enjoyment for your relationship, and it promotes physical strength, vitality, and keeps you healthy. Welcome, whoever just joined, welcome. You can either say hello in the comments or not. You're welcome to be here. Ooh, now down is 444. So awesome. Also today, our angel numbers are 1122 and 1144. So I will put more stuff in the description box. They just had me put a few things in the description box today, but then after the episode, they're going to have me go in and put more stuff. So right now we're working with the titanium quartz. This was gifted to us by one of our tribe members, Zoe. Interesting though, because it says promotes physical strength, vitality, and keeps you healthy. Clears a pathway for your life force energies to flow freely. And it says, strengthens your ability to settle conflicts with hope and enthusiasm. Look at that. Look at that. So interesting that there are two, I got the chills. There are two words, more hearts. Do you see a little heart in there up there? Two times they use the word strength. And strength and vulnerability are what we're talking about today with the dragons. So I think it's really cool. I feel like it'll go where it's meant to go. It kind of reminds me of an elephant right now. And you know what? I thought this wanted to be in here, but maybe it just wants to be over like on the side for support. Maybe over here in the mushroom garden. And welcome back. Or welcome. I don't know. Welcome. So we're so that's so interesting. So just the way this all came together is so powerful. People are going to come and go. I guess I'll just say hello, and then if they stay, they stay, and if they don't, they don't. And if you say, you know, introduce yourself, feel free to. If not, there's no pressure there. I can't see you. I don't know. You know what I mean? I can't see anybody until you know, show your, you know, whatever. A lot of times people watch these, but they can't, if they're not a subscriber, they can't participate in the live. Like they can watch it, but they can't like comment on it. They can't, you know, there's like all these like little rules and stuff they have. So I just love the divine timing of this. And thank you, Zoe, because we really needed this today. And I actually called to the dragons. The interesting thing is so much of this came together before I even knew about this, because I just opened the box yesterday. I just opened the gift yesterday, last night. And I didn't know I was going to do a video on it either. It was kind of like this last minute thing, but it all worked out. Also, I would like, when I looked down, it was 7-Eleven. So welcome. Oh, that's one of my goddaughter's birthday. Hi, Elamy, wherever you are in the world. I love you. But it also felt like a backwards birthday, like November 7th. So I don't know who that's for. So that's a wink, wink from Spirit. I also looked down and saw 727. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you're coming back, welcome back. But if you're new here, a lot of times when I'm doing spirit work, I'm a channel, right? So I'm channeling a lot of different energies and entities, and the dragons came in. And so you'll hear me spew off angel numbers or birthdays, or just, it could be a significant number to you. It could be a Jersey number. You know what I mean? It's different all the time. So the dragons, though, it was really interesting. I didn't know I was fasting until I was fasting. I was already like a good, like halfway into it, where I was like, okay, so as of right now, I have not eaten anything in 40 hours. All I've had is water, and I had a little bit of tea, but that was it. And the interesting thing is I've worked so hard. Like I've been physically working really, really hard. And I feel like Spirit wanted to show me, and the dragons wanted to show us, that we are stronger than we realize, that a lot of it is mental. And I said, why didn't you tell me I was doing a fast? And they're like, because you would have thought about it too much. And they were right. So instead, I just kind of inadvertently fasted. I didn't have anything since like Friday night, I think around 8 o'clock at night sometime. And then yesterday, before I went out to mow the lawn and do yard work, I was like, should I eat something? Because I was like, you know, it's going to be hot out, and, you know, it's just really busy energy with the Memorial Day weekend in the United States. And I was going to be close to the freeway where I was working. And I was just like, okay, you know, what do you want me to do? And they were like, no, you're fine. Just drink some water. I'm like, okay. Then I worked outside, did all these things, came in. Again, I'm like, what do I want to eat? You know, what do you want me to make? They're like, nope. And then before I knew it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm fasting. I'm like, this is amazing. And I kind of had a little bit of a freak out around 4 o'clock, because I'm like, I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. It's like, I need to eat. And they're like, you're going to be fine. Drink some more water. It's okay. So I did. And luckily, cannabis is legal where I live. So I had a lot of cannabis that helped too, because it just like kind of helped me stay in, like, you know, where I wasn't like letting my body spike from the energy of like, I need food or I'm struggling. It's like, no, I don't need anything. I'm good. Life is good. All is well. All is well. And that takes me to now. So if you find me a little bit flighty, it's because I'm holding space for some. Oh, when I looked down, it was 10, and then it was 10. a 1, and then 10, 11, just like all these like ones at me. It was really cool. Um, the angels are here, the dragons are here. There are a lot of powerful energies and entities that are with us today. 1022. I if they call me to, I'll write them down in the description box after. And for those of you who are new, hi Bubba. Bubba's here too. Bubba's here too. So are the witches, the healers, and deep down believers. So welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. They're like kind of coming in like one by one. It's almost like I'm watching. I almost feel like I'm on a stage and I'm performing and I'm like watching like people come into the show late. So maybe some people will arrive to this late. I don't know who's going to be here or who will not be here. But you know, I was just called to do this. So but yeah, I can feel how strong I really am and how much I've been like giving myself all of these outs or all of these 11 I've been giving myself all of these things, these restrictions, these third dimensional energy restrictions that are not mine. They don't belong to me. They are learned behaviors and programming. And I was like, you know what? You're right. You're right. You're right. And so now I am seeing what the dragons want from us. They want us to unlearn and really focus on the path, you know, our own personal path and purpose, but also to call on them, you know, just because we're not in the year of the dragon anymore, we're in the year of the snake. They're very similar, you know, I mean, they don't slither on the ground, but they are reptilian. And it's kind of interesting because I remember when this whole thing's, when I started researching about like Arcturians, Lyrians, Syrians, like all these different energies and entities from the outer galaxies, the outer realms, when I started to research that, I remember that they were like, oh, except for the reptilians, like you don't want to be around the reptilians, like the reptilians, you know, those are the shadow people here, like that's the dark side, but the more I started working with that energy, the more I realized I'm like, it has the same, just like everything else. The whole entire universe is about balance. The whole universe is about balance. Now, it may be a different structure system in different galaxies or solar systems or whatever, but in this galaxy, in this solar system, the balance, that's why we have the sun and the moon. We have day and night. We have, you know, good and bad, light and dark. You know what I mean? Like I can go on and on and on. We have that duality experience, but also the reptilian energy is just like any other species, and they evolved, and there are actually a lot of really good, really positive, really happy, really loving reptilian energies that like what was that movie where he's like, I may look something like I wasn't born bad. I may look like I was born bad, but it was like a scary movie. And I spoke of Monster Squad recently with the Frankenstein, but it's not that one. This was something else, but right. But even Frankenstein is a good example, right? Like he's like scary. He's like in Monster Squad. He's like, so I'm scary. Like I don't want to be scary. He's actually really tender and gentle and loving. I keep looking down and seeing like 1349, 1311. There are so many angels here. So I don't know when you're going to watch this or when this is going to happen, but there are so many of you here, and there's so many of like your higher self is here. Also I'm hearing like clean it up. Like there's this thing that I've been dealing with, and I've been trying to clean up as much as possible. But long story short, I was like, oh shoot, I forgot to get that one thing. And they're like, it, the quote unquote, the devil's in the details. That's like the irony and like the not so great energy that has been coming around for a long time, is the devil is in the details. I don't understand 100% what they're trying to say, but I feel like I know what they're trying to say. So we're going to pull some cards first because I feel like the dragons want to speak. I was just kind of, you know, channeling a little bit too and giving people time to come in, you know, because I know a lot of people, you know, one, it's a holiday weekend. Also, I know some people work. Okay, so Delphin, and Delphin was in reverse. And I don't believe we read these cards in reverse, but I always look at the reverse energy of it. So it's also number 30. more things from our tribe members. I mean, seriously, like I said this recently. I'm like, there are so many things like that you can look in front of you, and there are so many things that were like gifted by tribe members. So thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Thank you, Anna. So number 30. Oh my gosh, I opened right to it. That's so awesome. Okay, so you can choose to heal. I feel like this wants to go in there. You can choose to heal and be healed or swim in the riptides. I felt this. Okay, so remember, this is the power of strength and vulnerability. That's what they're trying to show us, right? Like the Frankenstein, on the outside, he looked scary, but he was actually very sweet and very tender. He was very vulnerable. He didn't want to, he's like, kill children. He's like, I don't want to kill children. You know, he's like, I don't want to do that. Like you, maybe you, Dracula, but like, I don't want to do that. Like, I want to love and take care and nurture, you know? And I think right now that there are so many masks that are on. People are wearing a lot of masks. Spirit is showing me. There's also a lot of mass hysteria energy that's been filtered in, you know, through social media. I mean, there are some days where Spirit will take me down a rabbit hole, and I just get very saddened and upset, and I pray for it. But I'm just like, oh my gosh, like people. I'm like, people are watching this stuff. You know what I mean? And that's just like one facet. I was on TikTok for like a blink of an eye, you know, really. And I just could not take the energy. It was so insidious. There was so much like, I felt like it was slithering with like creatures and like shadow. And it just like really freaked me out. Also, when I looked down, it was 1701. Woo! And welcome. But yeah, there are certain social media channels or certain like energies that I just can't get into. I cannot get behind. They're just too dark. They're just, I'm like, wow, wow, wow. So I know that it exists, but just because I know that it exists doesn't mean I have to lean into it, right? So it says you can choose to heal and be healed or swim in the riptide. So you can choose to go towards the healing energies and watch only things that are in your greatest and highest good and high vibrational things, or you can choose to keep going back and looking at things that are not in your greatest and highest good. And this says, dolphin is the etheric counterpart of the whales and the dolphins. Woo, where are my water people? Where am I? Hi, Jessica. Driving. Hi, Jessica. Listening, driving to a wildlife animal refuge with walking paths. Oops, hold on. And natural springs. Hi. Oh, that sounds beautiful. Oh, that sounds beautiful where you are. Well, no worries. We know you're here. And you know what? When you come in, you come in. And when you don't, you don't. You know what's interesting is like, since I started this almost 20 minutes ago, I've had at least 4 or 5 people come on. So I can't tell if it's just you like jumping in and out or if it's like 4 or 5 actual people. But either way, it doesn't matter. When I was called to do this, it's about the connection. It's about connecting our energy together at the same time, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, whether you participate or you don't. It's just about connecting and aligning our energies. I have to tell you guys right now, I'm going to take a little pause right here from the dragons because they said they want me to share this. I've been getting some serious downloads in the last 24 hours. And so I believe they're having me do this Sacred Sunday because I don't know how long I will be able to do it. And I have a feeling I may be going back into an energy where I won't be as accessible as I am right now. You know, even my landlord made a comment that the reason why I'm getting such good internet connection right now is because of the location we're at, but also he has like this huge metal shed like barn like structure, and he says it's a what are they called, like a conductor or whatever. So that's why I get such awesome internet. I mean, some days like I'll do a 2-hour episode and it's not even live where it's going through YouTube. I'll just record it on my phone and I'll go to upload it and it uploads in like 20 minutes, where before something like that would take like 24 hours in a lot of the places that I lived. So I am blessed. We are blessed right now to have this connection together. So that's why it's Sacred Sunday, because I feel like every Sunday we have together is going to be sacred, because I don't know when the next time it'll be again. So I feel like they're trying to say like all the time that we have together is sacred. And I do feel like there'll be a time where maybe the last episode, I'll let people, know. And then, so if they want to clear their schedules or whatever, because it's also, in the Northern Hemisphere, it's Memorial Day weekend. It's the beginning of summer, you know. In real time, it's the last day of the moon cycle. So Taurus is almost completely done. We're in Gemini energy. The new moon in Gemini is tomorrow. So we have a lot that is going to be like going through. And I feel like until I move to the next location or wherever I'm going to next, I feel like this is our time together. And I want to cherish it as much as possible. I actually almost went live yesterday when I was doing the gift box extravaganza episode from Zoe. I almost went live, and during it, there was a moment where I was asking Zoe questions, and I'm like, I love how I'm recording this like it's a live episode. I'm like, it's not. So anyway, I feel like Sacred Sunday is exactly that. It's our sacred tribe, and so many of us live in different places all over the world. In fact, Zoe sent me that box because she's leaving the mainland and going to Hawaii. So it's like, if I put push pins on a globe right now of our tribe members, we're all over the planet. It's so cool. We're in the Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere. There's so many connections. We are so beautifully and divinely connected that I feel honored to be here. I feel honored to walk this path with you, 21, 27. And then I saw 28, but I feel like that's an age, or that might mean something to somebody, because I feel like 28 is also the number 10, and I feel like somebody's closing a chapter. So I don't know who this is, but I feel like someone is closing a chapter. That is a really big, well, and I know Zoe is, right? Because she's going to be starting something brand new, even though she's in the United States. It's on another continent, right? It's on an island. It's off the mainland, so I feel like it's time for all of us to start new chapters, new beginnings, and the dragons are here to say, we still got your back. Just because it's not our year doesn't mean we're not here for you. Oh, 2202. I've been seeing angel numbers like crazy. Like I said earlier, 1122, 1144 angel numbers that came through before I even started this today. So we're going to get back to Delphin. So Delphin says the whales are the earth's record keepers, and the dolphins are our spiritual ancestors. They carry the blueprint of our spiritual existence here on earth. This wise old dragon of the deep carries the same knowledge and understanding within the depths of his being. This is what Delphin has to say about our journey and the oceans of our planet. The waters of earth can cleanse or maim, support or take life. You, too, are faced with a similar choice. You can choose to heal and be healed, or swim in the riptides. Neither is wrong. It is only a matter of perspective and choice. You have been faced with arduous situations at times and made some bad choices too. Remember, you are human, and as humans your race makes mistakes, and on occasion, poor decisions. But that is all part of learning. It is time to forgive yourself and others. Move on. They're like, move on. I could hear their voice in my head. Delphin tells us to look deep into our souls and asks, what is your purpose on earth? What is it we must discover about ourselves? Are we healers? A spiritual guiding light for others to follow? Are we seekers of the truth through science? Are we called to work with him, possibly as ecologists or even marine biologists? Delphin is very useful to call upon when we feel stuck and unable to go with the flow. Their presence acts as a reminder that we would do well to stop struggling and surrender to the ebb and flow of life, for that which we resist persists. Your task is to uncover your driving passion and kickstart the job you came here to do. Oh, also, they're telling me to look at the page numbers. They're hard to read. So it started on 130, 131, and then 132. So I don't know if those mean anything. The ones I feel like are new beginnings, but also 130, if you take the zero away, is 13, which is the witches, right? The witches number. But if you add that together, it's 4. So it's about building a new strong foundation. And then wave 131. And I see this differently. I see the 3 in between 2 ones. I almost feel like the 131 feels like a mama. bear and then like 2 children, one on each side. That's really powerful. And then the 132, the 1 feels like a new beginning, and the 32 feels like a magic number for you, or it's your 32, or it's 23, the mirror number, or it's your favorite number. But it's also the number 5, and 5s are about change and transformation and about being halfway there. So I feel like some of us are at completion, some of us are halfway there, and some of us are at new beginnings. And isn't that the way? I mean, we're a big fucking tribe, man. Like, we're not all going to be at the same place at the same time, you know? We're evolving, we're changing, we're growing, we're constantly moving and shaking. And you know, the dragons remind us about the growth, about the spiritual growth. That's I don't know if you guys ever look at the hashtags, but they've been evolving and changing for some time, and a few that we've been using constantly are spiritual journey and spiritual growth, because they're so important, they're so vital. You know, we have millions of light workers on the planet right now. I don't know if we have millions of earth angels, but I feel like the 144, like the 144,000 that they talk of, I feel like if anything, like that's the earth angels. That's how many earth angels are here. And then I feel like we have millions of light workers, and light workers are just people who are here to help guide the planet through the ascension. And then I feel like, interestingly enough, I feel like we have some really young souls on the planet at this time. What the dragons are showing me is 2618, then 2619. I feel like the numbers mean something. So maybe you're somebody who keeps watching the clock, or you're looking at the clock and they're telling you that, again, another man-made structure. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, my ears, I'm getting a ringing or a pain in my right ear. If you're getting ringing in your ears, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just your consciousness is like leveling up. You're leveling up. Just like I said, like, I mean, Spirit had me do this. I was eating like a fiend this past week, but I was working outside so much and working inside so much and doing so much spirit work that I was like, I get it, you know, I need the fuel. But then like Friday, I was just like, no, I just felt like I was just like going to town. And then I realized that now, looking back, that's what they wanted. They wanted my body to feel satiated and fortified with enough vitamins and minerals and nutrients that it needed, and protein, so that I could have this fasting. Because right now, even though I'm hungry and my body is tired or whatever, I also still feel very strong. And it's almost like they're trying to show you, right? Like, I feel a little vulnerable, right? Because I'm not as strong as like right now. If someone was like, can you go out and mow the lawn again? I'd probably be like, oh, I don't know, dude. You know what I mean? But I'd probably find the strength to do it. And I feel like that's what they're trying to show us. Like, we have to keep digging in deeper to find the strength. We have to keep searching for the vulnerability in the strength. Search for the strength in the vulnerability, right? Because, you know, I know when I was growing up, they're like, you know, boys don't cry and you're a pussy and fucking man up and like all this shit, where it's like, you know, these very destructive behaviors, where it's like, no, we all have equal parts of the divine feminine and divine masculine, right? Maybe not like in our charts, like, because I've spoken this before, 70% of my chart is masculine energy. However, right, on the outward, I am divine feminine. I embrace the divine feminine energy. I'm very, very sensitive, very soft, very vulnerable. But my heart chakra has been to war. My heart has been to war for 50 plus years, of people telling me who I am, who I shouldn't be, what I should be, what I shouldn't be. And I'm sure you've gone through the same. So when Spirit asked me to build this channel and build this work, they told me it was going to be a grassroots project from the beginning. They told me that there was going to be a lot of things that I was going to have to deal with, struggle with, go through, learn. You know, I accepted that challenge. There's been many times where they've been, you know, hey, you want to leave? You go ahead. You don't owe us anything. Like, you've done whatever, you know, like, you can do whatever you want to do. But then it's funny, I always seem to keep going back to this energy of helping, because I know that that's where I feel the best about myself, is when I'm helping others. And whether it's through my art, through this expression here as a medium, sharing my journey with the world is part of my job. And I feel like if you found yourself here today, sharing your journey is part of your, you know, or sharing your art, your, you know, connection with spirit, your love, that divine energy, I feel like that is part of your soul purpose as well. Also, anybody who's here, I think it might just be you, Jessica. You are more than welcome to ask any questions, personal or otherwise. I did get that from Spirit. So if you want to, I'll hold the cards for a minute. If you want to ask a question, just anything you want to ask about what's going on with the universe or Spirit, or if you have a personal question, you're more than welcome to ask. But just always know that when you ask a personal question, I will do my best to answer it without giving certain things away. Nobody asked a question, but Hearn came in. So very interesting. I feel like Dolphin's like okay with being back there. I don't feel like I kind of feel like they each want their own time, with us, which is perfectly fine. And I don't know why, but I feel like, oh, I see what you're saying. Which one? I feel like something over here wants to move. Okay. Interesting. This is if you were wondering, this is a honey calcite, golden calcite, honey calcite. So let's see what Hearn has to say. And feel free to ask a question. Ooh, okay. So there's two down here, and I'm not sure what they're for, so I'm going to leave them there for a second while we go to Hearn. When I looked down, it was 3112, which is also 1213 backwards my birthday. Okay, 33. Ooh, interesting. We started with 30. Now we're in 33. And then remember I was saying, and then it was on page 130. So there's something going on with that. It might even be for some of you. Are you caught in like a threesome? I have been drawn to this show called You, Me, Her. Have you guys ever heard of it? It's a sitcom. I don't know what channel. It's on YouTube. It's free this month, but I binged watched season 1. I started season 1 or season 2, but I took a break because I only saw 2 seasons. So I don't know if there's only 2 seasons or whatever, but I was like, no, I want to save this for like today. I'll probably watch it after this. But anyway, it's really, really, really good. It's really funny. It's really clever. It's really interesting. And it's about these 3 people who end up coming together as a throuple, three people, a throuple. And just they show the beauty of it, the romance of it, how they fall in love. It's really cool the way it happens. And it's just had me looking at things so differently. And I even asked Spirit, I'm like, is there something wrong with like, is that bad? Is that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, and so not bad, but because if you're in one, I'm not shaming you. It's not like that. I meant to say like, is that just like a learning experience, or is that something like, because I know one of my really good friends growing up, one of her aunts was her dad's twin. She was with this woman, and I remember when she first told me, and I'm like, so they're gay? And she's like, no, they've just been living together for years. I'm like, they're 2 old ladies who have been living together for how many years? I'm like, dude, they're gay. I'm quite certain they're probably gay. Interestingly enough, they ended up like coming out later. But it's just like one of those things where at least I think they did. I'm almost positive they did. I haven't talked to them in so long, and I'm trying to remember, but I think they did. But it's one of those things where people don't want to look at themselves that way. But what's wrong with that? I myself personally, right now, as of this moment in my life, I don't think I would ever want to be in a relationship like that. I don't feel like that. Like, to me, I've always felt a very monogamous nature, but I also believe that's because I'm in a twin flame relationship. So I feel like I feel like Spirit's trying to show me and open my mind to romantic relationships. I'll open all of our minds, right? Because I'm sharing this with you. But to have us look at that, like, Earth itself is just magic, and humans are here to just expand our awareness of love, expand our growth of love. And I wouldn't be surprised if we weren't in some type of sexual revolution again, like we went through at, in the age of Aquarius. When the age of Aquarius first started, it was, people were just like dropping acid, smoking weed, doing shrooms, and loving on each other, and just feeling this euphoric feeling of being alive. And I think that there are some people that maybe you've been in a sheltered relationship, or maybe you've always been in a monogamous relationship, and Spirit's like, or maybe you have fantasies about it. Maybe you masturbate, to a throuple or a threesome or something like that. But I really don't think there's anything wrong with that, because I feel like well, and I don't know why it's coming out that way. Maybe because that's a languaging somebody's using, and I'm gonna change my languaging around that. But I feel like it's something that isn't so common. And I feel like what is happening on the planet right now is that the more we are experiencing love in all forms, the more people are starting to understand that our connection to earth and our connection to each other is really great and really grand. And there is a magic here. And I believe that whatever energy is trying to take over the planet is because they know that there is a lot of power in love. There's more power in love than there is, well, let's put it this way. Love and hate are kind of like a duality, right? Energy. So it's like they're trying to show that there's just as much power in love as there is in hate. So that, when people are feeding hate, that's the wolf they're feeding, right? When they're feeding anger, discrimination, it's like, drink some water. Who are we to say what love is? And I feel like, oh, I just saw the Eye of Horus. I feel like we are meant to expound more on that energy of love and kindness and receptivity. Because in this show, the thing that I'm really enjoying about it is that it happened very naturally. And I guess I won't be giving too much away. So in the first episode, it's about a young college woman who her friend runs an escort service. And they don't always have sex with them, but there are some that they do. And this couple at the beginning are having a lot of trouble in their marriage. They've been married a really long time. They haven't been able to have children, and their therapist suggests that they do something to put a little spark back into the bedroom. And so the husband starts talking to his brother, and his brother's like, get an escort. And he's like, what? He's like, oh my God, totally saved my marriage. He's like, what? He's like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, she doesn't know about it. She doesn't need to know. He's like, it's something that, he's like, she makes me feel good about myself. She makes me blah, blah, blah. And he's like, and then I get all revved up and I go home and I make love to my wife. He's like, I don't have sex with her. I don't, I think he said he didn't have sex with her. So long story short, he ends up getting an escort, the husband. And he and the escort hit it off like friends, like buddies, but also like they start drinking and having a good time. And she's asking him questions about his marriage, and she's actually being really cool with him. And you find out that these two women that run the escort service, they're actually psychologists. They're psychology. I think they're, what do they call it? Going for their masters or something. Cause I think she said she was 24. So anyway, they end up like really liking each other, but before it gets too far, he goes home and he does the same thing and he makes love to his wife. His wife is in, or no, he goes home and he tells his wife because he can't live with the guilt of it because he ends up kissing her. I'm giving too much away, but it's the first episode, so whatever. But so then the wife is like, I want to meet her. I want to know who she is. And he's like, what? So she ends up meeting her on her own, and then she ends up having something. Come to find out, she had a few relationships with women before her husband that started out in college. So see what I'm saying? See where I'm going here? So part of what was not working in their marriage was that she was bisexual and she was missing that part of herself. She really wanted to, and then I realized, I'm like, the fact that they're there now, again, I'm on just beginning the second episode. We just stopped for gas. I couldn't type earlier. I don't really have a question that I can think of. Hold on, Jessica's talking. At the moment, he couldn't think of one either. I'm the driver, so if I think of one, I'll have him ask. Perfect. And feel free, either one, feel free to ask whatever you want to ask. Awesome, thank you. But I feel like this all came into my orbit for a reason. So maybe you're somebody that is like that. Maybe you're going through something like that, or maybe like you're feeling like you're missing something and spirit is trying to push you to, I had a friend once, she would never ever label herself. Never. She's like, I'm not a lesbian, I'm not gay, I'm not straight, I'm not bi. She's like, I fall in love with the person. I'm sexually attracted to the person. It has nothing to do with whether they have a penis or a vagina. She's like, I do not care. She's like, I fall in love with the person. And I felt like that was probably the most beautiful way to say that, right? She's like, I don't want or need a label. And I feel like, you know, as we get older, it gets even worse, especially if you've been in a marriage, let's just say, for years, and you have kids, and like, you know, you have like a certain routine, but you wake up one day and you're like, I don't want to be in this routine anymore. I love you, but I don't want to be married to you anymore. I am attracted to women. I want to see what that feels like. I want to, you know, one time a friend of mine, she was really coming into her gifts, and she was kind of not obsessed, well, kind of obsessed. She was obsessed with tarot, but I would say obsessed because she was studying tarot, but then also she would take a card from the tarot that she was working with, and then she would paint it because she was amazing. She's just a gifted artist. But then, you know how, like, if you look at something for a really long time, everything becomes that? And so I remember she said to me one time, she's like, you know what? I've been thinking about this. I'm like, okay. And she's like, I think you're gay. And I'm like, you think I'm gay? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, she goes, yeah, I think you're going to end up with a woman. I said, I may end up with a woman. I do not know that. Welcome, welcome, by the way. I said, I don't know if I will or I won't. I said, but I don't feel that I am, but thank you for sharing that with me. Maybe you have some insight into something. But that was like 10 years ago, and here I am, and I'm still madly in love with my husband, and I love women, and maybe one day, but right now I'm like, I don't feel that. But the interesting thing was they ended up going through where they were dating men and women, right? And they were projecting so much of their stuff onto me. And I actually kind of felt that, but I didn't want to, like, you know, they were going through their own stuff. So I just like released it and let it go. But I feel like sometimes when we're going through something, it's easy to project our own energy onto other people and say, oh, I believe this is, you know, who you are or what you need, or, you know what I mean? When truth is, the only people who know what we need are us. So I don't know who that was for. I don't know why, you know, but it came up for a reason. And I always believe that when things come up, we're meant to talk about it. And even like that show, I had to actually really look for that show. I was just going to watch a movie or do something random, and Spirit really called me to that. But the whole first season is about that. It's about boundaries. It's about, is this good for me? Is this not good for me? I want to do this right now. This makes me feel good. Is it just temporary? Is it, you know what I mean? Only you know, like maybe it's just something you have to get out of your system. Maybe it's something that is permanent. Maybe you need to have a whole entire life overhaul and you don't even recognize it or realize it yet. So Hearn says it is time to reevaluate. Oh, hi, Robin. The Robin bird came in. Also, the first card was Delphin. And I always think of my best friend from childhood, Robin Delphine. Oh, and so that's so interesting. So then I just saw Robin. Hi, Robin. Wherever you are in the world, Robin, I love you. I miss you. So anyway, but also the robins work with the robin bird, but it also is a representation for Christ consciousness. So it could be that maybe some of you were raised really religiously, and Spirit's saying like, you're not going to go to hell because you masturbate. You're not going to go to hell because you have a threesome. You're not going to go to hell if you have sex with somebody of your same, you know, gender, origin, whatever you want to, you know what I mean? Like whatever words you want to put on or label. That's not what this is about. Fear is a man-made construct to keep, or a human construct. When I say man-made, it really is, because so much of the constructs that we have are man-made, not human-made. They're man-made. They were made by men, divine masculine, that wanted to control. And right now we are in the uprising of the divine feminine, and we are pushing back the divine masculine because it has overtaken the energy on the planet, which is why the planet is shifting and all these horrible things are happening. So we light workers, earth angels, we are here, you know, the witches, healers, and deep down believers in magic. We believe in the planet. We believe in the correlation and the connection to earth. We don't separate, right? This isn't like church and state. We don't separate nature from humanity, or like we're not going to take out an old elder forest to build a fucking mini mall. We're not going to do that, right? Like we look at the earth with respect. We honor it. We cherish it. We understand it. And that's what Hearn is coming in to say, like, you know, it's time for everybody to reevaluate and restructure our lives from a really strong, solid foundation, not from this third dimensional energy, right? That's why I think the threes keep coming in, because they're trying to show us like we need the strong, solid foundation. So it's time to reevaluate, to slow down your fast-paced life. Hearn is the earth dragon, connected to nature and everything within the natural world. The rocks, the earth, the trees, the plants, the animals, and the birds. He advises us that we would do well to remember that we too are part of the seasons, the Earth's rotation, and of Mother Earth herself. Hearn reminds us that everything is cyclical and draws our attention to how out of sync we are now with the Earth's natural rhythm. Even our internal body clocks are out of kilter. We couldn't imagine life without our smartphones, being connected to the internet, social media, and 24/7 TV. But all of these things act as distractions, which stop us from delving into ourselves, finding our own internal patterns, and reconnecting with ourselves, and in turn, with the natural rhythm of our planet. Hearn says, you celebrate May Day, Halloween, Christmas, and other festivals, yet you forget the real essence of what they truly signify. They are a celebration of the turning of the seasons, of the earth's bounty, and you are out of step with these things. It is time to reevaluate, to slow down your fast-paced life, for you are constantly spinning on your axis rather than interweaving with the earth's bountiful tapestry. Ooh, I saw bountiful, but it's actually beautiful. I love when they do that. Make time to look at the trees, watch the waves, listen to the bees. Your body and mind require time to replenish and reboot, to use a popular human word, reboot. Hearn also emphasizes that nothing lasts forever. Things such as human love and life, he says, wax and wane like the moon. They are forever changing. They follow the natural cycle of birth, life, death, and rebirth. Okay, so we have some comments coming in from Jessica. Okay, we have an acquaintance friend who I just wondered yesterday if this is the one who has been casting spells on me versus someone else I thought it was. I would not have suspected before, as we are friendly. Am I just being paranoid? I know they are not someone to hang out with, so I don't, but now I'm wondering if they are doing just against me. So first of all, I personally believe that no one could put any spell or hex on you. I don't believe in that. I think if you believe that they can, then they can. You know what I mean? Oh, now look down is 47, which is also the number 11, number of angels. If you believe that they can, then they can. But if you are like, it's like, you have to look at it like Glinda the Good Witch when she starts laughing at, in the original Wizard of Oz, right, in the movie, when she starts laughing at the Wicked Witch, and she's like, get out of here. She's like, your fucking power doesn't work here. She's like, fly away, bitch. Like, I mean, that's basically what she's saying in a really cute, frilly, fuzzy way for a TV kids movie, right? But what she was still really saying was like, you and I both know, like, you have no power over me, so you have to go. If you ever, and thank you, Jessica, for asking this question, because if you ever believe that anyone is putting any type of hex or anything like that on you, you are giving your power away. You are giving them power. In Washington, the groomsman's name was Glinda, and that's what I called her. Oh, that's so fun. Her name was Glenda and you called her Glinda? That's awesome. Glinda, right? Because that's so awesome. I will absolutely ask Spirit, but I feel like you answered your own question. Yeah, they gave me Harmony, but it was upside down. What is it? Ha ha ha! In Washington, the groom's mom was named Glenda, and that's what I called her. Glenda, the good witch of Oz. That's awesome. So interesting that you say that, and like the card that you pulled was Harmony. So we're gonna read from the book, but I mean, right there is like so perfect. Harmony. And you know what I heard? Oh no. That song, Live in Harmony, Harmony. I don't know. Do you know that song? You guys know what song I'm talking about? I want to be with you, to be with you and live in harmony. Is that Erasure? You know that song? That's a song I'm hearing. So, I always like to go back and put things in the description box in case people forget. But anyway, I feel like I need to search that song now. So it says, tomorrow is a new dawn, and being in our heart center ripples out with positive effect. Okay, so Jessica, I'm getting some tough medicine from Spirit. My throat chakra is getting really tight right now, and I'm literally like, they're showing you like a visual of like you observe a lot, but you don't say a lot. So what really will get people is when you say something Meaning like for a very long time, I didn't speak my truth because I was the youngest and I was told a lot to shut up. I was told a lot that like what I had to say didn't matter. And then when I started to step into my gifts, like really step into my gifts, I was home and I was at a family gathering, and one of my relatives who always, not always, but most of the time, anything I said or when I was in the conversation, I got a lot of this very condescending energy from them. And I never really said anything. If anything, I'd be like, really, you think that? Or whatever. It would be like that until finally, when I was like stepping into my powers and I went home for the wedding, that's when I was like really like working with my shamans and feeling strong. They said something and I just fucking like, bam, I called them out. Like right there. I just called them out. And they, I mean, just the way that it would, just the startle alone was worth all the years of like all this shit, because you can tell they were not expecting that. They were not expecting for me to respond like that. They were not expecting me, because I've always been like wanting to keep the harmony, wanting to keep, you know what I mean? Keep everything good, keep everything light, keep everything sweet. And that's you, right? Like you're like this sweet, and I know you, right? So like, I know that that's how you are. You're this beautiful energy. I mean, look at how, did you see this beautiful from Zoe that we got? Look at this gorgeous, I just opened this yesterday, but like, this is how you are to the world, right? Like you're this hidden gem. We didn't even see this under here. You're like this hidden gem, and people are like, oh, it's okay, you know, Jessica, I can, you know, whatever, I can say this or I can do that. Oh, look at that, look at the back of it. Because it's like, this is how you're showing the world, is like this very nice like white light, like yeah, blah, blah. But on the inside you're like this sparkly creature, but you're also a dragon, right? Like, so don't get it twisted. You know, you're a badass mofo. Like, I know who you are. You know who you are. But I feel like it's time for, like, you to start showing the world where, like, where you don't even need to ask a question like that, because you don't need to ask a question like that. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't even need to ask that question because you're so fucking powerful. I mean, the whole point of this reading today for episode 3 was about the power of strength and vulnerability. Right? With great strength comes great responsibility. But also, when our tribe, I think what makes our tribe so special, why I love our tribe so much, is that everyone on this tribe, everyone in this tribe, or that's a part of this like circle, we're not just light workers or earth angels. We're really strong. We're strong, powerful creatures, but we're also very kind and very loving. And we do everything in our power to help each other. We support each other. I mean, how many times you guys have supported me and looked out for me? And you know what I mean? It's like we take care of each other because we know that our path is greater. And this episode is really about getting us to like hone in on what is our purpose. Delphin asked us at the beginning, like, what is our purpose? Why are we here? What did we come here for? So harmony, number 2. That was really powerful. So tomorrow is a new dawn, and being in our heart center ripples out with positive effect. Harmony is the first shy dragon that I met. This is from the creator of the deck. She was peeking out at me from behind a huge curtain when she first appeared to me. She's a quiet and considered being and is a lot less brash than some of the other dragons that I've encountered. I asked her about her qualities, and she replied, I am the bringer of harmony, restorative on an interpersonal level and an outer global level. If you're wrestling with a problem that you're unable to resolve, ask Harmony to bring her beautiful, harmonious influences to the situation and guide you in any steps you may need to take. If she has appeared to you today, she asks, what area of your life needs reviewing? What do you need to let go of? Is it judgments or old habits? What is it in your life that needs reharmonizing? I will assist you in taking those first steps, supporting you as you go. Harmony says, take some time to sit and contemplate your life as it is, and look honestly at what may require changing. It may be something quite small, just a little tweak. or it could be a life-changing event. She goes on to say, the answers you seek all lie within you, so sit quietly, ground yourself, be present, and reflect. Oh my gosh, my throat chakra, I feel like somebody's choking me. Your inner knowing, under my guidance, will help bring the answers to the surface for you. Tomorrow is a new dawn, and being in our heart center ripples out with positive effect. Harmony will appear when there has been discord or upset. This can be personal or on a global scale. She is the harbinger of change, and her role is to bring harmony to the world. Oh my gosh, I got so many things coming through when I was reading that. Oh my gosh. That's okay. I saw that. Thank you, driving again. So very interesting. Wow. So a lot came through. I'm going to sit with spirit for a minute and see what they want me to talk about. So I was really interested when she said, what area of your life needs reviewing? What do you need to let go of? Is it judgments or old habits? Hold on. There's something from the beginning she's saying. Oh yeah. So when they told me I was going to do this, I was like, okay, I totally understand why I'm fasting, because these dragons, I've worked with this deck now for quite some time. And so far, like, we've been working with the nicey dragons, but I was a little like, I was like, I don't know if I'm able to hold strength for some of those big ones, you know. I'm like on a fasting, like, whatever. But I think that's the whole purpose of what they're trying to show us, the duality of the harmony and taking care of ourselves and our environment, and how important it is to have that grounding energy and that stability within us. In fact, I feel like now is when they want us to, I feel like this ring wants to, I know it wanted to come in, but I feel like it wanted to come on here. I feel like this is how they wanted to go, so. Okay. Wow, that's beautiful. There's like another piece I feel like it's a piece to a puzzle. And I know sometimes we don't get the answers that we want exactly, but we get the answers that we need, right? Like, you know, that old saying, you get what you need. You don't get what you can't always get what you want, right? But if you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need. And look, at the next card is courage. And courage kept coming up, actually, for me when I was working on some other videos for the tribe. So I think that's kind of interesting. You know that song from like the 80s? Colors, colors. You know that rap song? That song's coming on. I don't know who that's for, but I feel like that is for somebody. Maybe it's a wink, wink from somebody to you, but that's coming through. And that's from, I think that's from Training Day, that old movie Training Day. I don't know why that's coming through, but it's for somebody. It's coming through. Somebody who may watch this at some other point, and it's like a wink, wink from somebody on the other side. And it does kind of feel like a very like brotherly energy. It feels like a wink, wink, like I almost feel like, wow, I feel like that song's coming through because I feel like somebody, oh my gosh, if this happened to you, my heart is with you. I feel like somebody had somebody who was shot and you've never really recovered. And I don't know if the shooting, oh, I'm getting chills on my body. I don't know if the shooting was intentional. I don't know if it was an accident. But this feels very like a brother energy, a very strong brother energy. That's all I can say. It feels it like, obviously I'm like an American white girl, but like I literally heard somebody say like I popped a cap in that ass or something like that. Like it sounded like that kind of like languaging. So I don't know who this is for. This is very intense, and it's but I feel like it's not ominous intense. You know, I feel like whoever this person was, like they were like like Tupac Shakur, like, you know, valor, somebody who actually had courage and stood up to people. I don't know. I'm just feeling like, wow, this just like came in. So, you know, when things come in, I channel it. So this was an open channel to people. So somebody may have come on, I don't know, and this may have freaked them out, right? Because sometimes I feel like people, like, they'll find something going live and they're like, I don't know how I found you. I don't even know about readings, or you know what I mean? But everything happens for a reason. But, you know, spirits, when they're trying to contact somebody from the other side, they will find any means necessary to do it. So whoever this is, I just definitely feel like this is a wink. This is a I love you. This is a, you know, it's okay. But it definitely feels like a strong brother energy. And you don't have to be bone and blood, but it could be bone and blood. And it does feel like two males, so it feels like brothers. So anyway, I don't know if that means it could even be, you know, random white kids that loved that movie and pretended to play, you know, a game or something, and they got, you know what I mean? I don't know, but it's really strong. And whenever it's that strong, I honor that spirit because they are trying to get a message through to somebody. So, and I'm hearing that for all of us to have courage to live our lives the best we can, to have courage to find the strength to be the best version of ourselves, to live in harmony with man and nature. So this says, be brave, stand tall, you've got this. Courage Dragon says, this beautiful, okay, also it's 69. So it could be, it's on page 69. So it could be somebody who was born in 1969, died in 1969. We were talking about the age of Aquarius, so it could have been around that time. There's something is coming through and it's really strong. It could even be a grandparent who was like at a sit-in, love-in or something at a protest and like with their brother and got shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always say to people, follow the breadcrumbs. You know, I never know exactly why that. Sometimes I'll be doing a reading for people and they'll be like, I have no idea. And then like they'll contact me later and be like, oh my gosh, remember when we talked about blah, blah, blah? They're like, oh my gosh, that happened. I didn't know because it didn't happen yet. And when I'm reading as a medium, sometimes spirit is specific and will tell me the past or tell me the future or tell me the present. But other times it's like, it's just all one. So I don't know exactly when the timeline is. You know, it's like fill in the blanks for yourself. Okay, so it says, this beautiful, powerful dragon comes to the fore when we need to be strong, usually on an emotional level, which, hello, we were talking about strength and vulnerability, right? To have the courage right now, they're trying to tell us to have the courage right now to stand up for ourselves, to stand up to ignorance, to stand up for neglect, to stand up for impatience, impertinence, greed, control, to stand up and have the courage and say no. You know, the dragons gave us that strength last year. That's what they were trying to show us last year. Some people are like, I had the best year last year. Some people are like, I had a really rough year last year. But I feel like people who had a really rough year, it was just strengthening us to make us stronger now so that we can lay that foundation, so we can be the strong ones for all the others that are going through it right now. You know, you signed on to be this earth angel. You signed on to be this participant in the awakening, you know, this mass awakening and the changing of the guard. You know, this is part of your process. This is part of your path, you know, so don't be afraid of it. Have courage. You're not crazy, quote unquote. There's no such thing. You're not crazy. And I feel like the grandmother spider wants to come out, the flame and the spider. See right here in the corner, because they want us to remember that that fire burns brightly. And Hearn, they wanted me to bring in, you know, this Larimar piece. And I was like, oh, are we working with water dragons? They're like, dragons are everything. They're earth, fire, water, air. Dragons are dragons. But of course, we are in the Gemini energy. And tomorrow we are going into the first, you know, the new moon in Gemini. And they want us to set our intentions to get very real, starting in the next 24 hours, for the next 24 hours until the first quarter moon. Our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to get very real with ourselves, with our partners, with our friends and our family. But definitely, if you are putting things out into the universe of what you want to see and what you want to change, it's time to do that. This new moon in Gemini is one of the most powerful manifestation new moons of the year. And also for our Gemini and our Sagittarius, or those who have very heavy Sagittarius and Gemini placement in your chart, it's a very magical day tomorrow. because I believe the sun is going to be in Mercury, which Mercury is the ruling planet of Gemini, but also there's something with Jupiter, and Jupiter is the ruling planet of Sagittarius. So I feel like tomorrow is going to be a really magical day for a lot of us. That's why I was like, Aldo, we need to do something. I'm like, because I'm triple Sag and my moon's in Scorpio, but he's triple Gemini and his moon is in Sag and his birthday's on Wednesday. So he's doing like this soul mission. He's going into the mountains to do some ritual. And I said, I feel like it would be really powerful for us to go, into the woods or somewhere by the water. We were both feeling like ocean energy. And I feel like whenever that comes out, that's spirit talking to us. That's the energies talking to us saying, yes, come and feed off that energy. We need that energy. Even though I live right on the water and it's ocean water, it's like I live, I'm in the Puget Sound. It's like, yes, but there's a strait where the salt water comes in. There's a huge difference of going to those waves and going to the waves that are on the west coast or the ocean where they can get up to 15, 20 feet high. You know what I mean? It's like there's a big difference. I don't know. I'm sure that the waves around here can get that high, but I'm just saying there's just a connection. And sometimes when we feel that, that's our inner knowing, our inner knowledge, our intuition. Welcome, by the way. Feel free to ask a question if you'd like to ask a question. That's our knowing, that's our intuition. Just like intuition is linked to the moon, to the water. So I was like, I feel like this new moon cycle, I want to do something different. I want to do something that I've always wanted to do, or something, so I would say set your intentions and really work with them. There's no time limit. It's just that, you want to do it when it's in its most potent. I mean, it won't even, for me, the new moon in Gemini won't even be fully until like 8 o'clock tomorrow night Pacific Standard Time, according to what I saw online. So, I'm like, we'll be at the end of the Taurus moon cycle at the beginning of the new Gemini, but I think there's something cool about that too, because, I feel this energy where it's time to like connect with our inner desires and our inner knowing. So this says, we may need her strength for many life situations. For example, when we have a lost loved one or are making huge life changes and we need an extra dose of courage, she is there to support you and an anchor to hold on to. Oh, I love that courage is the divine feminine. That's awesome. But look at how we have like Hearn was masculine, Delphin was masculine, and Harmony and Courage are divine feminine. Drink some water. Interesting that's kind of how it feels like, right? Like we're being squished in, but instead I feel like they had to set these up for a reason. Look at them for a second. Look at how Courage is towards Delphin and Harmony is towards Hearn. Courage is towards Delphin and Harmony is towards Hearn. So it's like, and both Delphin and Hearn are looking that way too, right? Like it's almost like they're the guardian angels of like the divine masculine. They're trying to push for the courage and work past the energy. What was Delphin's phrase again? I feel like I want to read it. Because Delphin is one of the guardian angels. You may choose to heal and be healed or swim in the riptides. So, it's like we're meant to work with that energy, but we're not meant to like get lost in the energy. The divine masculine too, the power, control, that like yang energy, right? We want to be more in the yin energy of the soft, of the, the yin and the yang. We need both the divine feminine and the divine masculine, but there's definitely, something to be said about what's happening on the earth right now. And so we need all of us, no matter what you represent or how you're feeling right now, in your body, we need divine feminine, and we need the divine feminine more from our divine masculines than ever, because I feel like that's why a lot of the men are crumbling and having a hard time, because they're fighting that urge to be that soft, vulnerable side. They're like, no, I got to be strong. I got to be strong, like that. Like I was saying earlier, where they're like, no, stop being such a wussy, get up, be a man. We need to balance that out. And the divine feminine, we have to have the courage to keep the harmony right now. That's what's so hard, is I found when I was fighting more with my partner, it's because I was being more like, well, my needs aren't being met and blah, blah, blah. Where it's like, actually, my needs are being met. I'm being bratty right now because I'm not getting what I want. There's a huge difference of like not getting what I want and not getting what I need, right? As the Rolling Stones just showed us a few minutes ago, right? So getting back to courage, it says courage is there to support you and be an anchor to hold on to. And she says, you are safe. It's fine to be strong and vulnerable at the same time. You are capable of a great many things, and it's time to acknowledge them and to believe in yourself. Your depth of character is your ally. Your ability and tenacity are your anchors. Now is the time to own them. Be brave. Stand tall. You have got this. Courage says that we are braver than we give ourselves credit for, and if we find our courage failing or our self-doubt taking over, to call upon courage to find our feet again. She will guide you through any challenging situation and support your self-belief. All you have to do is ask. She assures you that everything is exactly as it's supposed to be, even if you are unable to see the bigger picture. Courage is a picture. Ooh, interesting. I said picture, but I saw a picture, but it's perfect. Courage is a perfect picture. No, courage is a perfect meditation partner. So if you're struggling in your meditation practices, call on courage and harmony to help you through that. Interesting that the next one is freedom. That says let go and trust the process of life and the universe. Yes, because it is. It's a lot of us are, especially those of us who, the empaths, the sensitives, we are struggling more than anybody anywhere, because right now we're human here. So we're going through our human stuff, and we're helping others like find their true humanity, instead of this like makeshift bullshit version that has been programmed into us about what a man and a woman should be, what a child should be, who we, what I mean, I go on and on. I mean, it would take me forever, right? Because we've just been in this controlled atmosphere for such a long time. And some people enjoy being controlled because then they don't have to think for themselves. But the whole point is we need to think for ourselves. And that's what, if you guys remember, last year we worked with the dragons so much. And that was the one thing that kept coming up over and over and over, was the individuality, to think for ourselves. Look at these dragons. They all have a different purpose. And they all come from different realms. They're not having me go into the book right now, but this is the Dragon Path Oracle. But the certain individual, Caroline Mitchell, who downloaded this was her experience with these dragons. There are, let me see if in the book, there are, let's see, let me see if I can count this up. So there's 33 dragons. Oh my gosh, talking about the threes. There are 33 dragons here, from the Earthwalk Dragon Clan, the Galactic Dragon Clan, the Grandmaster Dragon Clan, and the Guardian Dragon Clan. So we are working with harmony and courage are from the Earthwalk Dragons, and Delphin and Hearn are the Guardian Dragons. So as above, so below, right? Because we've got the earth and the air dragons. So I feel like that's just like another wink, wink, right? Like that this is just a planet of magic, and we are bringing the magic back. I mean, I don't know if you saw the video yet, but when you see it, you'll crack up. But when I opened the gift box extravaganza, when I opened this, I literally look like a little kid on Christmas Day, because I've wanted this crystal, this titanium aura crystal. I've wanted it for a really long time. And I read it at the beginning, but in case you missed it, it's the stone of creative power. It supports career and gives determination to succeed with your plans. It increases your zest and enjoyment for your relationship, promotes physical strength, vitality, and keeps you healthy, clears a pathway for your life, clears a pathway for your life force energies to flow freely, and strengthens your ability to settle conflicts with hope and enthusiasm. And I feel like for a lot of our artists, if you can afford to do so, get to your local crystal shop or go online. You can order online too. I personally like to go into the shop. I like to see, the only crystals that have ever come to me that I didn't pick in a store were like this, that were sent to me from other tribe members, other light workers. But I feel like for some of you, this is a very powerful crystal for you to work with. Also, she sent a Mojave Desert Chalcedony, and I feel like that was really powerful. Oh, hold on. You said you can't hear? Are we still going? I don't know if anybody else is on here. I haven't hit anything. Let me see. Okay, let's see. So it says, for some reason, I can no longer hear you. Sound on my end. To confirm, my boyfriend, born 69, and his nephew was shot a long time ago on his 18th birthday. Drive by wrong person. A crow flew down and confirmed. Oh my gosh. See, I love when you guys comment, because sometimes when things come through, I was like, it's so, thank you so much for confirming that, and bless them and bless your nephew. Um, yeah, you know, that's so interesting. So he's giving you a wink, wink, and saying hello. I have to say, it felt young. It felt like it felt very brotherly, very loving, and it felt like when they died, they were young. So that's so interesting. You'll have to tell me if there's was that like their favorite movie or something? Because I believe your boyfriend, I don't remember his name. I'm so sorry, my friend. A lot of times it's like I'll be texting you, I'll remember it, but like when I'm channeling, sometimes people's names don't come through. Um, but I definitely feel like I heard that song and I saw the movie Training Day. So I'm just curious to know if there's a connection there for them, because I believe your partner, your boyfriend, is the same age as us or around that. So that would make sense, because that movie and that song was really big when they were a teenager. That's so interesting. Well, thank you for stopping by. I love that they came through on the Courage Dragon. That's so cool. But also, the greatest part about it is that this was medicine for all of us, even though they're in and out while they're driving, and they're probably losing, So I think she was saying she lost sound on her end. Um, but I feel like we all got something from that. That's really powerful. Okay. So I'm going to see if Spirit wants us to pull any more cards. That's why I said I knew something was meant to come through, because when I was getting ready for this, I felt like there was somebody waiting patiently to talk to somebody on the other side. Okay, Mordwin. I saw this earlier when the cards fell. I had a feeling Mordwin was going to come through. Mordwin is so old and powerful. Oh my gosh, so powerful. I believe he's also a guardian dragon. This is number 28, which is also the number 10. So interesting. This just came through. So was his nephew, were you older? Because now I just got that, like, were they 18 and you were 28 when they died? Because I feel like that has something to do with that. And I think this is not hematite. I feel like somebody is asking if that's hematite. It's not hematite, Anna. It's one of those, like, sometimes I know them, and then sometimes I just don't. They just, like, evaporate into space, the names of things, and I don't know why. Drink some more water, you guys. Stay hydrated, especially my desert people. Jessica and co. They're out in Vegas. I don't know are you guys still driving back from your trip? I don't know. So Mordwin wants to come in and talk to us. Also, I have to move this over a little bit because Mordwin wants to show their cool structure there. Illuminaire. Only truth has integrity and can stand the test of time. That's for somebody. I don't know who. Oh, that's for somebody. What are you not telling somebody? What's going on? That's interesting. That was definitely for somebody. Okay. Only you are the master of your destiny, says Mordwin. Mordwin is an awesome character, hugely powerful and all-encompassing. He will open doors, put people or situations in your path which will lead you to living your divine purpose. It is his responsibility to guide you to fulfill the contact you made in spirit before coming to earth for this incarnation. Mordwin says, you are the power, accept it as your own. Only you are the master of your destiny. His message is clear, so don't ignore him at your peril. Oh no, his message is clear, so ignore him at your peril. You have a job to do, so let's get on with it. You have the tools and the knowledge you need. Your self-doubt hinders you. Your time is now. The world needs to see your light. Step into your heart, and I will take the journey with you. Your role is to take your light out into the world with me as your guide. Together, we are the master creators. As you discover your life purpose, acknowledge your fears and self-doubt, but do not be bound by them, for they cloud your truth. Follow your heart, feeling your way with truth and integrity. And Mordwin also wants me to say that he's not trying to be aggressive. He's just, dragons don't have ego. Human ego is, ego is a very complex energy. But dragons do not run or are driven by ego. So when they speak, and they speak with stern energy, it's to tell. I got to take a picture of that. Oh, can I take a picture through here? I'll have to take a screenshot later. I'm like, because when I'm taking videos, you guys know I'll be like, oh, I got to take a screenshot of that. That's just too pretty. But there's just a lot of good energy coming through here. But do you see how different they are? Recently this guy was like, I believe of Christian faith, but definitely was like, dragons are evil. They were like, and I was like, dude, I don't know what you've been reading or what. I'm like, but there are good and bad, light and shadow and everything. But I'm like, in my experience with dragons, I'm like, they don't have ego. They're not like vicious trying to kill people. That's a dragon that's like lost their way. You know what I mean? Like, that's something in a movie. That's a human energy. That's a third dimensional human thought, putting it into a dragon in a story. Do you know what I'm saying? Because true dragons they're like not out to like, they believe in karma, right? So they're like, they believe karma is just a law of the universe. So they wouldn't do that in my experience with dragons. Okay. So if there was a dragon that was an earthbound dragon, then they must have been taking something over from a past life with a very human consciousness energy behind it, if that makes any sense. Because dragons want the best for us. And they come from the angel realm, and they're just another form of light workers. You know what I mean? Like, whatever you want to call them. But they are very, very powerful, and they definitely are on our side, and they want us to win. That's all the energy I'm getting from them. Okay, do we have any more questions? We've been going about an hour and 21 minutes. Do we have any more questions? Does anybody want to say anything? Thank you for the like, and thank you for being here. I don't think we have any more. Do you guys have any more questions? Spirit, do we have any more messages from the dragons? Any more questions that maybe somebody will watch later and we'll answer it for them? They're like, nope, already did it. All right, nice, nice, nice. Okay, that's it, you guys. Let me just go through one more thing with Spirit. Let's do a confirmation. Are we done for episode 3, Sacred Sunday? No, we are not done. Okay, does anybody have a question? Or do you have anything else that you would like to say or add to the story? Because they're telling me we're not done, but they're holding the cards. So that means somebody's either asking something. It is such a great picture. I wonder if I could do screenshot on my phone. I'll have to like leave it there when I'm done and do an experiment and see if I can do it the way I screenshot, or if it'll stop the video or stop the connection. I'm not really sure. Are there any more channeled messages, Spirit? Are there any other divine, or would his nephew like to speak? Did he call you Unc? Because I just heard like, hey, Unc. Like a very, like Unc, like funk, like instead of using the whole word uncle. That's interesting. I just got the chills. And Jessica, I feel like you and I are meant to have a phone conversation, just you and me. Not a session per se, but just like, because there's a few things that came through here, and every time I went to say them, I was stopped. So I feel like, okay, so it must be something that like you're working on and you don't want to talk about on here, and that's totally fine. But there were some other things that came through too. Okay, let's see. Seeing if any other, sometimes I miss things, so I'm just going back on the comments to make sure I didn't miss anything. Wait, hold on. Where's the, where did it go? Oh, there it is. I think that's it. I think he just really wanted to, I think he just wanted to be acknowledged, the nephew. But also, if you know what, you know what, there is a message coming through. I'm sorry, I don't know your name, Jessica's boyfriend, because you got the same boyfriend. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna say that. I feel like they're trying to push you to have this strength. I feel like your nephew is trying to show you that like nothing lasts forever, and I just know personally what happened, you know, to you through Jessica, and I don't know if you want me to share it, so I won't. But I know what happened with you, and I feel like he's saying that he's really proud of you, but he wants you to like keep going, and that you're on the righteous path, but you've got to stay on the path, like all the way. Changing your lifestyle, changing, like doing a huge overhaul. And that's kind of what I'm getting for both of you guys. Like if you guys are meant to like kind of keep moving forward together, like you're going to have to both make significant changes and live where you want to live and be where you want to be and have the life you want to have. And I'm hearing stop making choices. Like one of the things that my separation this year from my husband, that it's been a really rough time, but one of the greatest parts about it is it made me realize again, like, what do I want? What do I need? You know, because a lot of times when we get into a couple, especially a part of a couple, and I feel like whenever we have a very devastating thing happen in our lives, and for you it was very devastating. I don't want to share your story without asking you, but something very devastating happened to this person. And when something like that happens, it's kind of like when you're going through, when you're trying to get sober and they say you shouldn't date anybody or get into a romantic relationship. It's the same thing. It's like, I feel like you need time to establish your life as who you are without having somebody be there as a crutch or have somebody be there to be, you know what I mean? Like, what is it like to live your life completely on your own without the help of someone else? Because that's what makes us stronger. That's what breeds courage, is that strength of like owning whatever quote unquote misfortune that we feel has, fallen upon us, when in actuality, that's part of our soul contract. Like you wanted that, whether you believe it or not. It's like you called that thing to happen to you. So you had to learn how to, walk differently, act differently. Like everything about your life changed. Every single thing about your life changed. And I've known people who've lost parts of themselves, in all ways, shapes, and forms. And it changes you. It can't help but change you. So I'm getting that it's kind of like you're at a point now where it's like all or nothing. You're all in or you're all out. And I feel like this is for all of our relationships right now, in our romantic relationships. We're either all in or we're all out. Now, that does not take away the fact that we need our individuality. We need our individual freedom. It's about looking at things through a new lens, through a new scope. Like, I've been talking to my partner recently where I've been saying, I don't believe that we can move forward the way that we are now. Like, I believe that you are meant to be on your own. I am meant to be on my own. And I pray that we come back around, and live together again. I miss him. I miss sleeping with him. I miss going on adventures and I miss just making dinner together, just like little things, I miss that. But at the same time, I feel like I needed to like regain my independence, so once a week we go shopping together, we run errands, we do chores or whatever, but then like they go on their way, I go on my way. And I said to him recently, I said, I think one of the reasons why you're not feeling connected to me is because we don't do the things we used to do. We don't do the fun things. I said, all we do is work and chores together. That's all we do. We don't do anything fun. I said, the only thing that we've done fun together is my birthday in December when we went out for dinner and a movie. I said, that's the last time we did anything fun together, because we've both been so like laser focused on our own individual journey, but we forgot that during that time, you know, we needed to have fun. But he was going through the shadow and the dark night of the soul, and so was I. And so when you're in relationships, the earth, I mean, look at all the shit that's happening on the planet. And then we're supposed to like be in relationships too, with our family, our friends, our significant other, our kids, right? It's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of energy. Right now, most of us only have enough energy to keep ourselves going. You know, like I've been quoting Dolly Parton recently where she's like, I'm so busy, I don't know whether to wind my butt or, you know, scratch my watch, right? It's something like that. I'm paraphrasing, where people are ungrounded and untethered and clinging onto each other like life rafts instead of like looking to support each other and being like, you know, I can't handle that right now. Sometimes I got really frustrated with my partner over this last year because I'm like, you can't handle that right now. We're not like, I'm like, we're not even talking about anything too serious. They're like, I can't handle that right now. I'm like, okay. And then I started to realize that we are, all of our relationships, we are on new ground and we cannot take the past with us. We have got to let go of the old patterns and the old versions of ourselves. You know, like Jessica and I've talked about this. Like, you know, I love live music. I'm a musician myself. I love going to bars and clubs to play music, but you know what? I can't do it anymore. Every time I go, I'm like, I'm not there very long and I have to go. The only place that I have found that I actually can enjoy live music is in the summer, at like not festivals and like drinking and things like that, but like one of the towns that we were living in, they had live music every single, I think it was Thursday night, and it was in the square at the park, and it was like a family friendly event. It wasn't about drinking. It wasn't, they did have a like a beer garden, but it was like far up and away from the people. And I loved it because the live music was, you know, kids were dancing. It was outside. We were by the water, and it was like a completely different experience. So you may want to look into doing more things like that. You know, sometimes you want to see a band. I know you want to see them, but it's like, you know, it's just not the same. And right now, bars are not the place we want. You know, the seedy underbelly of the shadow is going to be in the places that they are easily accessible, where they can pick off people one by one, right? Like if you're somebody who's depressed or suicidal and you go and hang out in a bar, how do you think that's going to make you feel better? No. And if you're somebody who's in a high vibration and you're grounded and you're feeling good and you go into that environment, you think it's not going to affect you? It will. Even if it's like, I mean, I've gone to events with some of the most powerful shamans I've ever worked with. And it's fun at first, but like we're all like within an hour, we're like, yep, I got to go. Because you can only fight off that energy so much. And I feel like for a lot of us in this tribe, you know, we do have the courage and we want to bring harmony and the joy to everybody, but we also got to stay grounded in that earth energy. We need the knowledge and the guidance of Mordwin, right? But we also have to remember, like every single one of them has a path and a purpose. Every one of these dragons. All right, I think we're good. Any more? Any more? Oh, I got another card. Oh, so we either have a new person or this is just, oh, Merlin the dragon, right? Because Merlin doesn't want us to forget our magic. Merlin doesn't want us to forget our magic. Harmony's up there, but we're going to put Merlin right there so we can, oh, yay, they can all be here, right? We can all participate. Thank you, Merlin. Merlin the dragon. And look at what's on the bottom of the deck. I just looked over and saw that, so I had to show it. It's getting in touch with that divine feminine. And also, you know, my gosh, you know, we've all had tragedies in our lives, but my gosh, losing a nephew at 18, I can't even imagine. I have 5 nieces and nephews, and I love them all so dearly. And it's like, that's like something you just don't ever want to even think about. So my heart is with you. So Merlin says, continue your journey discovering what you need to learn, understand, and own. Merlin the dragon, to give him his full name, is an incredibly large and sage old dragon whose message is one of teaching and learning. If he has found his way into your reading today, his message is this: not all things are as they seem. Some are images being reflected back to you in order for you to understand discernment and learn the lessons of self-trust. Only once you have done this will you discover how to stand in your own power and own who you truly are. The Grandmaster Dragons are able to shapeshift between their dragon and human or angelic form. In whichever guise they adopt, Merlin is the teacher of the teachers. And you guys know that Spirit has always told me I've been the healer of the healers. So from one teacher to another, thank you, thank you, thank you. And you guys are teachers too, right? Like we're all teaching each other. And thank you, Merlin. It says, so heed Merlin's wise counsel. You are unable to teach. Oh my God. Here we go. Drink some water. Wow. Somebody's getting bitch slapped here. Whew. I felt like somebody just pulled my larynx out. I don't know who that was or what happened, but this is really powerful. You are unable to teach others until you fully understand the lessons yourself. Once you have mastered these, you are in a position of clarity and ownership and can share your wisdom with integrity and power. Until then, hold your tongue and continue your journey, discovering what you need to learn, understand, and own. Only then will you be in the place of authority to share your knowledge with others. So are some of you teachers, or are you teaching? Because I feel like when I choked like that, my first instinct is always myself, and not because I'm selfish, but more like, am I saying something wrong? Am I, you know what I mean? And I got this like, no, like there is somebody, so somebody popped on, people have been popping in and out this whole time, but somebody popped on, and I feel like this is a message for somebody that you either have a spiritual practice or something, but you are so quick to, and this isn't a judgment, this is observation from the dragons. You're so quick to throw judgment on others, and maybe it's in your relationship. Maybe you're, you know, in your relationship, like I do this with my partner sometimes, and I'll even say, I'll catch myself and I'll say, do you want to hear this right now? Or is it okay if I, you know, because I feel like it's really coming through strong. And I feel like they're saying like, you're not in any position to like give advice to people if you're not going to actually give it yourself and live it yourself. And I am not saying like, ew, it's not for me because I'm above it. It's more like, let's put it this way. In my experience, I wouldn't even be working with the dragons. I wouldn't even be holding space for the dragons if I weren't in a teacher role, period. End of story. So this is Merlin saying to you with a loving, like little nudge, like, hey, you are that powerful. You are a good teacher, but you've got to walk the walk. You can't fucking like say, you can't do one thing and say another, right? Like you, it's like you're talking out of the side of your mouth, as they say, right? Like, and they're saying like, no. That's not how it works. It says, if you notice that owls keep crossing your path, know that Merlin is around and willing to share his infinite wisdom with you and show you what you need to learn. He will stretch you and often answer questions with another question, encouraging you to seek the answer from within. He is not an easy grandmaster to work with, but he will guide you well. Oh my gosh. Also, I just got like this, like overwhelming, like I'm like really hot, like out of nowhere. Just so I'm like, holy shit, I don't know who this is for, but it's really powerful. And that's the thing they want you to know. You are that powerful. You are that strong, but there's some stuff that's going on there. So that's really powerful. Also, I feel like somebody told me recently that they've been seeing owls. So I don't know who that's for. Also, I checked and my propane is fine. Does somebody have propane? I feel like something is leaking. Check your propane. I feel like your propane is leaking and it's not good and it's getting into you. Like, I don't know what's going on. So maybe you have a propane heater or you're cooking with propane or something. But because I just said, is it mine? They're like, no. And that's the second time it came up. So I feel like that's for somebody. Check your connections, check your gas connections, something with, it's either your heat or your stove or something. Check your connection. Maybe you got a new stove or something new. There's, you know, we just had this earlier with, you know, we said when I had that, one of our tribe members' nephew came through. It's like I'm feeling it like that same kind of strength. So check that, okay? Just to be safe, just make sure that you check that. Okay. Is there anything else coming through? Man, I open the window and I feel so much better. I feel like they're saying for some of you, you're feeding, it's beyond the which wolf are you feeding. It's like from now on, when any fear comes in at all, change it instantly with a positive. Instantly with a positive. Like earlier, Jessica was like, is someone trying to cast a spell on me? Instantly go, oh, I'm going to send them loving energy. Even if they are, I know that's not going to affect me. So the fact that they would try and do something like that, you know what I mean? That is our mission, should we choose to accept it, is that every negative thought that comes in, think positive. You know, a song comes on, it reminds you when you were raped or molested or something horrible that happened. Work on healing that part of yourself and sending that person love, because it takes a great deal of pain and suffering and hate to do horrible things to people. This is a big one. This is a big one. That's why the divine feminine came through on the bottom. That's the energy they want us to exercise with. What is today? Is today an 11 day? Oh, the freedom dragon just came out. I think it is, because it's the 25th. So 7 and 5, it's 12. It's a 3 day. That's why the 3 kept coming up. So I feel like they're saying, like, for a lot of us, once we like get through some of this stuff, like the freedom's going to come. The freedom will be there, but we got to work through some of these energies first. Oh, and Gaia. Okay. So I don't know. So here we are, another earth energy, Hearn. A lot of our stuff from our tribe is working with the earth. And then Luna just came out. And I feel like these may be for a future picker reading, or they may be for shorts. This one, Orbron, came through as well. I don't feel like we're meant to, I don't know what's going on right now. They're just having me pull cards. But I feel like there's something going on with that. Okay, now they're not letting me pull anymore. Okay, so let me ask. Also, if you guys remember, I've been talking about that there's a love reading coming through. I recorded it last Sacred Sunday, a picker reading. They may have me do one now. Maybe that's what they're going to have me do. I don't know. Let me see. Do we want to use these for a picker reading? For shorts? Do we want me to go into the book for these right now? Because what I got from it was that we need to work more with Earth, work more with the moon and magic of Merlin. I feel like we will have more freedom and harmony once we connect with that Earth energy. And then the Orbron on top of Mordwin just feels like another strong dragon to me. But I'm going to go into the book because that's where I'm headed. And that is number 14, which is also the number 5. A part of me is being a brat because I'm starting to get the tremors from like I haven't eaten in like 42 hours or something. So I'm kind of like, I feel like I need to eat. Okay. Reconnect to your physical body. Get out of your head. Yes, yes, yes. That's what we were talking about. Like, right? Like, because our knowledge is power. Our thoughts are power. This says if Orbron has turned up today, it is to reassure you that you can achieve what is required. You may have to dig deep within yourself and maybe do this for the long haul, but you can and will succeed. This striking red dragon's connection is firmly grounded and in effect connects to our base chakra. He therefore relates to everything that makes up our physical lives and the world we create for ourselves. Oberon's message is a simple one. Nothing in this world you call home is insurmountable. Nothing is too big to deal with. Get your feet back on the ground and anchor yourself into your physical reality. Having your head in the clouds will not give you the answers you desire or require. Connect to your base chakra and reconnect to your physical body. Get out of your head and into your body. Release your ever tumbling and swirling thoughts. When you are more grounded in this way, you will be better placed to deal with the matters that are demanding your attention. You will then be able to handle them fully and with ease, freeing you to move forward. Your time is best spent tackling whatever is demanding your time. Deal with it totally, and then you will be in a position to move forward. Although Oberon is a tough-talking dragon, sometimes you need to hear it as it is. He is a great ally when you need to get a job done and deal with the here and now, right? Just like Mordwin. They're like no-nonsense bullshit. But they're also very direct and to the point. I just got the shakes. He is really strong. I could feel his energy. Oberon finishes his message with, seek the path of least resistance. The more you tussle with a problem, the tighter the noose becomes, eventually strangling the solution. Do you get that? So, right? If you're depressed, you're stuck in the past. If you're having anxiety, you're stuck in the future. So you need to be in the present. Stay in the present moment. Also, I think it's interesting, Luna, the way that her wings are down, I feel like for some of us, we're going to have a big awakening over the next full moon. When is that? I'm going to look on my calendar right now. Also, you guys, there's links below for Imagine from John Lennon. Before I started this, I asked Spirit, did we have any other messages? And John Lennon came through. And I put some interesting videos that I stumbled upon that I think you might find interesting, like watching the making of it. And also seeing how much of a genius Yoko Ono was. And people didn't give her due, man. She was pretty much a fucking genius. She had a lot of influence over that song in positive ways. So, right, imagine. So they want us to start imagining our lives in the greatest possible way, like saying things like, thank you, Spirit, for showing me how magical my life is. Thank you for showing me how exciting and joyful my life is. You know, and not talking about, like, I saw something recently that said hope can be a dangerous word because hope could be something that it's a longing, but it's not an actuality, where a manifestation is like you're bringing it into an actuality. You're not hoping it's going to happen. You're saying it's going to happen, right? And then when it doesn't happen, then you know that maybe that's just not what's meant to happen or meant to work with right now. Also, this just fell out of my book. I don't know who this is for, but December, I felt like somebody was looking for a timeline for something, and because that fell out of my book, I feel like December. So we're going to have the full moon in Sagittarius. Tomorrow in real time is the 26th. It'll be the new moon in Gemini in May. And then the full moon in Sagittarius is June 11th. And that's on a Wednesday. So I feel like by the full moon in Sagittarius on the 11th, we're all going to have a lot of insight. And then, you know, a week after that, we're going to have the summer solstice. So there's going to be a lot of changes that are going to be happening. It's kind of cool too, because next month we have the full moon is the 11th, the third quarter moon is the 18th, and the new moon is on the 25th, and they're all Wednesdays, all 1 week right after each other. And I feel like between the 18th, the third quarter moon, Juneteenth, summer solstice, like that whole week, I feel like something really magical is going to happen. I don't know what, but something is going to happen. Something really powerful. Interesting too that the Father's Day is before that, because Father's Day is a divine masculine energy. So, yes. Also, I'm hearing for some of you, you have got to stop smoking cigarettes. I don't know who this is for, but you have got to stop smoking cigarettes. It's not who you are. It's not a part of you. You've got to find a way to do it, but you got to do it. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. Also, I'm hearing, I don't know why this is coming up, but I'm feeling like a very strong, like gay energy. So I feel like this, but what I'm feeling is like it feels like a gay man identified energy. So I don't know if you're smoking, but this is just, you know, I don't mean to like call you out. I don't have your name, you know, this isn't romper room. I'm not looking through a mirror, but they're showing me signs of that right now. And so I feel like if you're like, is this for me? They're like, yes, it's for you. You've got to find a way. There's so many healthy versions and things you can do. Also, Money, I'm hearing for some of you, it's not that they're saying to not spend money, because it's good to keep spending money, because when you put money into the universe, the money comes back to you. But I definitely feel like for some of you, you've been getting a little spendy, and I'm hearing that you may want to save a little bit for a rainy day. I don't know what that means. The energy I'm getting is like something like, I'm not putting this out there, but it just kind of like, think of it like this, like make sure, you could change your tire. You know what I mean? Like, God forbid somebody has a tire issue. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of thing. So I feel like maybe you've come into a little bit of money. I'm seeing the number 200, $200 to $500. I don't know how it came into your orbit or what happened, but I feel like they're like, sure, like, buy yourself something nice or, whatever. But I'm hearing you may want to save a little bit for a rainy day, like 300 of it. I don't know. So, and maybe that, and I don't know, again, those are the things that came up. They're just giving me examples. I'm not saying it's going to happen to anybody, but I don't know who this message is for, but it was very specific. So when it's specific, I throw it out there. I feel like there was another message. Do we want to pull any more cards? Do we want to read any more from Gaia or Luna or Freedom? Also, I'm hearing that the money is really good for freedom too. That's the other thing too, is that they want you to, like, if you want to continue having this freedom, you don't want to go down on a downward spiral of like old patterns or behavioral, you know what I mean? Like, if that makes any sense. Okay. Do we want to read from the book anymore for any dragon? Does any dragon want to come through? Okay. But yeah, so for those of you who are struggling in your love romantic relationships or with your love for yourself kind of thing, you'll keep a lookout and keep an eye out for that reading, because it's coming. I don't know when. I recorded it last Sacred Sunday. It was a pick a reading, and we used, what oracle deck do we use? I don't even remember now. I'm trying to remember. If I look at my thing, will I remember? I don't know. It doesn't matter right now. Are we going to post that today, Spirit? Do you want me to post that pick a reading today? Oh, yay. I'm posting that pick a reading today. Yay. So look out for that. That's going to be coming down the pipeline. And I will put a link in the description box. I'll go back and edit this, and whatever they want me to add to the description box, I will do so. Do we want to take any more questions? Do we want to talk to any more of the dragons? Do we have any more insight? Any more channeling energies? Anything else about December or the full moon? Any more dates? Because we don't, as you know, if you've been in this tribe a long time, we don't go through dates unless they're... And, again, don't make something your story. That December might be significant to one person. It could be a time frame. It could be so many different things. But maybe if you were looking specifically for a time frame, or you were thinking about a time frame during this reading for something specific, I feel like that has something to do with it. And it doesn't feel, I will tell you this, it doesn't feel like a past December. It feels like this December. So, all right, that's it. Okay, do you have any more messages, Spirit? Do you have anything else before we end this session today? Okay, thank you for all of you who joined us. Thank you for Jessica and your partner. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your nephew for coming in. I'm so grateful to have all of you here today. I love when we do channeled messages like that. And it always makes me happy, especially when someone joins the live reading and they get a confirmation from the other side that that they are on the right track or in the right place, or you know what I mean? Like, that always makes me really happy to hear. And man, that cigarette smoke keeps coming through. So I'm like, is there someone on my property? Like, I'm looking around outside to see if there's somebody outside smoking, but I don't see anybody. But it's really strong. So take heed to that, okay? Because I don't normally say things like this, but it's literally life and death. Like, if you keep smoking, it's going to kill you. It's going to be the thing that kills you. And it's a really horrible way to die. And I can tell you from personal experience that both sides of my family died of emphysema and lung cancer. And it's a fucking horrible way to die. And I smoked for a long time. So it's not like I'm trying to tell you to do something that I'm not taking it as lightly. I know it's hard to do, but I also know that once I stopped and I found other means to, you know what I mean? It's going to, some people can quit cold turkey, some people can't. But I'm hearing like not even one a day, not even one a week, not even one a month, you know, like maybe you need to do that while you're edging off of it. That's fine. But I am hearing for some of you, it is literally like, and it could be for more than one person, it is literally like life and death for you. And you may even, I'm not a doctor, but you may want to go check and see with your doctor and just see how your lungs are doing. Just see how you're doing. Go get a checkup. Some of you maybe you already know because you've got the morning cough from smoking, whatever, but it is, you know, beyond the poisonous carcinogens that are in a lot of cigarettes, unless you're smoking natural tobacco. But even then, you know, it could be really dangerous. Okay. All right. I think that's it. Any more messages? Do you have anything else to say? All right, you guys, until next time, I love you so much. If you would like to donate, contribute anything to this channel, all of my information is in the description box. Anything from a prayer to a deck of cards to a nice cup of coffee, whatever. I don't even drink coffee, but you get the gist. Whatever's in your wheelhouse to do so, it's good karma for you and me for this exchange of energy that we had today. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. I love you. I love you. I love you. And love yourself and love each other. Be safe. All right, especially on this holiday weekend for California. Ooh, I don't know who that's for, Freudian slip. For our Northern Hemisphere family and our American family for the Memorial Day weekend. Take it easy out there, okay? All right, I love you. Till next time, bye. Blessed be. Oh, bye. I'm going to try the screenshot thing. Oh, I don't think it works. Oh, it did work. Oh, cool. I'm going to see if I can take this back, because I really liked that image. That was a cool, ooh, it's like that one wanted to be taken off, but this one wanted to go here. Oh my gosh, it's like it went there by itself. Oh my gosh, look at that. I feel like it wants to go like this. Freedom, freedom. Taking a screenshot. That's how it wants to go, then that's how it's going to go. Oh, I don't know if it did it. I can't do it. All right. Bye, you guys.